Welcome to Introduction to Odor. This is the second half of our introduction series to canine nose work. This is where we actually start taking the odor that everybody's clamoring to get a hold of, but taking the odor and transferring the value to the odor from the box. So it's going to look an awful lot like what we've already been doing for the last 6 classes or so, except we're going to actually be putting a hot tin, which means a tin that has odor in it, on a Q-tip inside the box, and we will be pairing it. So we'll be putting some of the primary rewards, your food, inside with in the box with the odor. This allows to get the dog rewarded at source, which is the odor, is the source, at source as quickly as possible, so that they can start saying, ooh, this odor is paying me. It's not just the box paying me anymore. It's actually just appearing from the odor. It's paying me. So we're building value in the odor itself. One of the things that we want to make sure to do is we use different containers as we go along. Right now it's going to look exactly like it's been looking. We're going to be using our same cardboard boxes, same types of games. We're going to start out really easy, and we're going to go from there. I still do not want you guys using any kind of marker words or any intervention at all with you guys. I don't want you guys intervening and feeding or paying at source. I want it to be magically appearing from the odor tin. So you guys won't be doing any of that yet. I know you guys are all real excited and want to do that, but we're not there yet. So, and the more work we can do in our foundation, the better and more solid our foundation would be, so that when we go on to move to all these things that you guys keep wanting to experience, the more solid our foundation will be, the better your dogs will be, the more they'll stay at source, the faster they'll be, the more independent they'll be. That's really what we're doing. Like I told you guys in the very first class, this is going to be building independence, confidence, a good, strong dog. It's very good for shy dogs. I've seen it really bring out the timidness and become a confident dog. That's one of the reasons that we like to play this game. Okay, so as I said before, we have 3 different odors. That's birch, anise, and clove. Now, NASC has done some studies, and inhaling these odors, things like that, it's not going to harm your dog. And if you think it has harmed your dog, please immediately go to the vet. But anyway, nothing has ever been reported for ill effects due to, inhaling it. However, don't let your dogs eat the Q-tip swabs that I give you. You don't want them to ingest it. It just, we always want to keep the odor pure, so we keep it in airtight containers. I personally like to keep each individual scent in its own container. So like all my birch stuff goes in one, all my anise stuff goes in one, all my clove stuff goes in another, so that it keeps it separate and keeps it pure. So that's just a little bit about odor. Now, as we get further along, after every time we introduce a new odor, I will give you a little bit of a talk on cleanliness or odor, keeping your odor pure, keeping it off your hands, keeping it, from dropping on the floor, etc. It's one of the reasons I don't want you guys to go out and buy odor yet, because if you do, you may contaminate your house, or you might even contaminate your dog, who knows. But so I like to just go ahead and give out scented Q-tips for you guys. Later on, I'll actually have a class that shows you how to prepare odor once I think you guys are ready. Okay, one of the things I want to tell you is that with introduction to odor, just like do you remember the very last class of Introduction to Nose Work? You know, I basically was running a diagnostic test on your dogs in that very last run, just to see if I thought your dogs were ready to start pairing with Odor, or if I thought they needed a little more just primary work. Because once we switch over to pairing, then we don't want to go back to just having the primary rewards only. Once you pair forever. You just don't want to go backwards. But I don't want you to jump into Odor too soon. If your dog is not working independently enough, then I'm going to hold you back, and I'm not going to have you run on Odor. And then as the time goes on, once I see that your dog is working independently and is enjoying the game and has got the concept of the game, then we'll start pairing with you. So some of you guys are going to be at a little bit of a different level than others. So don't let that bother you though, because like I said before, we want to build a strong, confident dog. Okay. And as I previously said, you're not going to be rewarding your dog. It's just going to be in the box, paired with the Odor. And then as time goes on, what we're going to do is, and once again, it's not going to be you doing it. It will be me doing it, tossing it. I'm very good at hitting the box. But later on, then, you know, this first time, we're just going to see what the dogs do, just with a few treats in there. You know, we're starting to transfer the value. Once they get the idea and they're going to the box, then the more and more rewards are going to just start magically appearing with the Odor. We want to make sure that that the dogs think that the Odor is what's paying them, not a person. And if you are there and you are in there with your hand, they know it's coming from you, and they're going to start looking at you and expecting you to give them a reward, just like they do when they, you know, you do tricks or whatever. They're gonna sit there and they're gonna say, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, so I'm gonna throw out a down, or I'm gonna throw out a sit, or I'm gonna throw out a look at you, or whatever it is that they like to do. You know, when they want a treat or they're confused, and we don't want them to do that. We want them just to go straight to Odor, knowing that Odor is the only thing that pays. Again, you know, we want to make sure that the dog is going all the way to source, and source is the Odor 10 that we were talking about, and go as close to source as they possibly can. So once you start actually getting in and you're able to reward them, you're always going to want to reward at source. So you're going to want your hand right there on top of the hide, especially when you're first, you know, doing it. Okay, so I believe that is all I wanted to talk to you guys tonight about before we get going. So we'll go ahead and we'll get a running order. We're going to start with birch. That's what we're going to run with for 2 weeks. We're going to run with just the birch, and then we'll slowly add anise, and then we'll add clove towards the end. And like I said, at the end of each class or each section of them, when I want you to start doing homework, I will give you a vial of the Odor on Q-tips, so you don't have to go out and buy anything. All right, okay, let's go have some fun. Let's get a running order going.